Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into the podcast. Today's topic is Ramayan and astrology. Indians have always fancied astrology. Most auspicious works begin with consultation of an astrologer. I must admit, I too fall into this bandwagon. I have always fancied learning and understanding astrology, sometimes even blindly following it, till a loved one gently taps me and brings me back to my senses. But generally, I observe that we don't believe that someone can tell us our future. We try and act very modern and practical, you see. Our future lies in our hands. Yet, when a friend or colleague of ours claims to know palmistry or astrology, we rush to him and ask him about our future, just for the sake of it, to know if the friend is saying the truth or no. Is astrology a science? Does it mean that our destiny is pre-written? The story of our life, every day, the wishes, the desires, our prayers, all of it are a pre-written pattern. And that pattern can be judged by a few people. If everything is pre-written, then why do I need to work hard? Why does God not reveal us our future? When He does, can we change it? Here's an interesting story. I recently heard in one of the folk tales that when Kaushalya was delivering Ram, an anxious Dashrath asked the Rajguru and other Brahmins for their opinion. They said, if the child is born during the first half of the day, he shall enjoy all the fruits of the palace. He shall be a glorious king and his name shall always be remembered. If, however, he is born in the second half of the day, after 12 p.m., he shall have a very tough life. He shall have to go to forest and live a tough forest life, endure hardships and face the pain of losing his loved ones. There was a stark contrast in the future of the child just on the basis of the time of his birth. And here was Ram, who took birth at sharp 12. Now who could say which star was influencing him? What would be his life? A glorious king, or a life full of difficulty and pain, and also losing a loved one? When Ram, Lakshman and Sita went to the forest, Lakshman immediately began gathering wood and hay for making a hut. He knew the craft which impressed Ram. Ram inquired, Lakshman, since when did you know such craftsmanship in making a hut? I never knew my princely brother had this quality in him as well. Lakshman smiled and said, Bhaiya, Guru Vashisht, when we were being trained in his Gurukul, Guru would fondly call me and always ask me to assist him in building his huts and find wood and hay for it. He always taught how and which was the best way for it to be made. I now realize he knew all along that one day I may need to bring that knowledge to use. Here's one more instance. Sita, during the Vanvas, serves Mata Ansuya, a saintly woman, with all her devotion. Mata Ansuya gives her a divine costume, Divya Vastra, as a boon. She says, Sita, if you wear this costume, you wouldn't require to do the daily chores required for purifying your body. These are divine clothes. It rids them from the mundane necessity of cleaning. Who would have known that there will come a time when Ravan would hide behind the bushes to take a glimpse of Sita's body from distance, when he believes that she will enter the river to take a bath. But owing to Sita's boon and the divine clothes, Sita never had the necessity to change her clothes or even to take a bath while she was at Lanka. Thus, that boon protected her from the evil eyes of Ravan. It means Mata Ansuya too had a glimpse of what was to happen to Sita, and Sita's devotion really helped her in the future. But if people knew what would befall Ram, why wouldn't they want to change it? Let's admit, no one has come here to become great, leave a legacy in one's name when he's dead. Everyone wants a happy life. Who would want so much of pain, so much of problems, and then people say, oh, you are an avatar of God? Don't we worship God to get less problems in life? Why doesn't God reveal us our future? Because if He does, He knows we will get scared of the pain and try to escape it. He knows that the path, though very painful and scary, is the right one for us. And that is only going to give us a purpose in life. Here's an interesting story about how astrology nearly ruined Ram's life. Dashrath was a happy man. He had all one could ask for: a peaceful kingdom, no menace at borders, obedient citizens, 4 supremely talented and obedient sons. What else could one ask for? It was the right time to retire and live his last life in peace. He asked his astrologers for a good Muhurat to anoint Ram as the new king. He wanted to take his own time, do it at the right time. As is, Bharat and Shatrugna also weren't around. So, preparations may take many days, or say a month, or many months. Then they would have arrived. He planned on a grand preparation and to make it as the most memorable event of his life. The Raja Pandit or astrologer put forth a strange proposal. Maharaj, he said, your birth star is being held by malignant forces. In such circumstances, the person either dies or witnesses a catastrophe. Ram's birth chart too shows immense difficulty for the next 14 years. The Pulatsya constellation was favorable, but alas, it ends tomorrow morning. From then on, this palace will be subject to negative forces. There will be manipulation, deceit, which will lead Ram to live a very difficult life for 14 years. If he isn't made the king at the earliest, he won't be able to be the king for a very long time. Dashrath panicked. No one wants manipulation, deceit, and misery for 14 years. He has to change the destiny. Who could it be? Who will cause such misery to his son? Who else? It should be Bharat. Bharat must be having ill feelings for his brother. Dashrath thought. If Bharat gets the time to return, he will ruin Ram's chances for happiness. It is better that I make Ram the king in Bharat's absence. So, when Bharat is back, he won't be able to do a thing. When does the Pulatsya constellation end? He asked the astrologer. Astrologer says, tomorrow morning. Well, Dashrath says, since any auspicious occasion cannot be performed at night, I won't crown Ram as the king right away. But tomorrow at dawn, before sunrise, Ram shall be the king of Ayodhya. The news spread wide and fast. People started celebrating. The citizens were so happy, they decided they will not sleep for the entire night. The celebrations and the pomp is what made Manthara filled with envy. And Manthara then pours it all onto Kaikai. Manthara takes that point and rushes to Kaikai. She says, the citizens are celebrating, entire kingdom is celebrating. But Raja Dashrath didn't even consult his favorite queen while taking such a big decision. He did it purposely in Bharat's absence. And all this must be the ploy of Kaushalya. She and Ram must have instigated him to do so. Kaikai, who loved Ram more than Bharat, wasn't jealous of Ram. But as a woman, she was jealous of Kaushalya. She knew she had taken away Kaushalya's husband, as she was Dashrath's favorite queen. Though Kaushalya was the eldest, it was Kaikai who was most respected in the kingdom. She believed now Kaushalya will take away everything to seek revenge. And for that, they shall act unjust to her Bharat too. And rest, they say, is history. Thus, when God did reveal the future to Dashrath, it was with an intention to execute his own plan. And the next morning did change Ram's life forever. But if everything is predestined, why do we work? Back to the same question. So Ram should have just laxed. Yeah, Lakshman, don't worry, nothing will happen. Why to bother hitting Meghnad and all? We are destined to win. If we leave the outcome of our hard work to God and not worry or stress about the future, just imagine what our life will be. Well, the truth is that there is a power up above who reveals his plans to you when that power wants you to act according to his wish. And then again, he conceals his plan when he wants you to act according to his wish. And there is no chance of us fooling him. That's why they say, all the world is a stage, and we are the actors. While we cannot determine our story at all, we can only determine how well we act it out. So let's cut the chase. Why not spend each and every day of our life doing what we love doing? The action itself gives joy, passion, dedication. Itself makes the day beautiful. I will not care what will the outcome be, because the outcome as is not in my hand. If we get the recognition, we know there are several people better than us. It is just our destiny doing its game. If we don't, well, we are good enough. It's just destiny doing its game. So if we are inevitably focused in our passion, our life, and do not care about what our story will turn out to be, how materialistically successful will turn out to be, wouldn't we be happier? And we will end up inevitably being the heroes in the lives of our loved ones. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you wish to send a cheering note or a feedback, please note down the email ID. It's krishnathakkar61@gmail.com. I repeat, KRISHNATHAKKAR61@gmail.com. Do tune into for other podcasts as well. Till then, have a happy day. Bye-bye.